So welcome back. This is lecture 2 of standard costing and variance analysis. Okay, and this is for cost accounting group 1 and CMA group 2. ठीक है, तो ये हमारा lecture 2 है standard costing का और ये CMA intermediate June 2022 attempt के लिए है. So first lecture में we had finished some part. Okay, we are just continuing. अभी थोड़ी सी theory करेंगे और फिर then we'll do 2 problems. Okay, to just miss and match सारी theory एक साथ ना हो इसीलिए. Okay, so now next point is about stock valuation. Okay, talking about stock valuation. Now we all know that balance sheet has to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company. This is mentioned in auditing many times. Okay, that the main function of balance sheet is to give true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company. So it will give true and fair view only when everything which is there in the balance sheet is at correct values. Okay, so stocks valued at standard cost. Okay, if you are using standard costing system, you will value stock at standard cost. Okay, closing stock is valued at standard cost. So you are required to adjust that in the balance sheet in the below 3 circumstances. Okay. First is as per AS2 valuation of inventories, accounting standard 2, closing stock is to be valued either at cost price or net realizable value, NRV, or say you can, in general you can say market value. Okay, so closing stock is to be valued at cost price or NRV, whichever is less. Okay, so in this case, if the lesser one is NRV, then you will have to replace that in the balance sheet. Okay, from your standard cost value. And secondly, if standard costing is in an experimental stage, okay, and variance are deviations from poorly set standards. Okay, you didn't know how to set the standard and you have set it wrongly. Okay, in that case you will have to adjust the value, okay, of stock so that the balance sheet represents correct value. Okay, this is one. These could be 2 scenarios. Last one will be if if there are variances, okay, which are beyond the control of the management. Okay, so there are 2 kinds of variances. One is controllable and second is uncontrollable. Okay, so which is not which is beyond the control of the management is called uncontrollable variances. Okay, so any times when you have got any uncontrollable exceptional variance, okay, that is not shown. Okay, that is charged to the P&L, but it's exceptional. Okay, so this is regarding stock valuation of your standard costing. Okay, so then now next point is maintenance of raw material stock at standard cost. Okay, so in stores ledger, stores ledger, right? Stock ledger, stocks can be carried at standard cost or actual cost. Okay, both methods are in use. Okay, so some companies use this method, some companies use this method, but consensus is in favor of standard cost. Okay, यहाँ पे advantages of adopting standard cost for inventory valuation. What are the advantages? One is that because if you are adopting standard cost, then standard price will be one price, right? So whatever is your if say any item is coming into your stores, okay, or it is going out of your stores, okay, you don't have to calculate balance every time because you know that the cost will be standard cost only, correct? You can directly just put the cost and you can value it very easily. Okay, so that is the advantage. So the balance at any point of time, whatever, you only have to maintain your physical balance. That is, I have 500 kg. You only have to maintain that. You don't have to maintain cost, because if anyone is asking you the price, just multiply by standard price, you'll get it directly. Okay, so maintenance becomes very easy and issuing also becomes very easy. Okay, that's the first 2 points. Okay, and and secondly, whenever you are purchasing new material from outside, you already have a standard here. So variance immediately will come to know what is the variance. Okay, you don't have to wait for variance analysis. So these are the 3 advantages. I'll just show 3 small disadvantages, then we'll move to the problems. Okay. The disadvantages are store's ledger does not reveal the current prices because you're getting prices at standard cost. Okay, it is not revealing the current prices. That is one. Okay, and if you are showing stock in balance sheet at standard cost, that is not the real cost, right? So then balance sheet is getting falsified to that extent. Correct. So that is one problem here. And last is revision of standard necessitates revision of the cost of inventory. So this is there, but it is just they've just put this for the sake of putting it. Okay, so standards are not revised every now and then. So, but yeah, this is also a point that if standard is revised, then you will have to revise everything, right? So that way, in actual, each time the values will be different, correct? So these are the disadvantages basically of using standard cost in your stores ledger. Okay. So then next is like difference between standard costing and budgetary control. This we will do tomorrow. Okay. आज नहीं करेंगे, कल करेंगे. Okay. Otherwise, too much theory. Continue from here. Theory is बहुत simple है, ठीक है? जैसे मैं समझा रहा हूँ वैसे ही आपको याद रखना है. You have to just understand the way I am explaining it to you, and you should be able to write. Don't go for learning and all that. These are all simple theories. Okay. So now we are going to the next part, okay, which is called variance analysis. Okay, so now this is the process of standard costing. Little bit of theory will complete tomorrow. So this is the process of standard costing. So how does standard costing work? Okay, first setting of standard. Say I am saying that 1,000 rupees is the standard, should be the standard. Okay, then determine what were the actual cost. Okay, so actual cost was 1,050. Compare standard and actual. Compare these two. Okay, actual is more, right? So if the actual is more, it is said to be unfavorable variance. Okay, or you also call it as adverse variance. Okay, so I'll write this as 50 into bracket A means adverse variance. So my actual result has been bad, worse than standards is, I'll put as A. Okay, in this case, if this was actually, it came to 950, then it is better than standard, right? So I would have put as 50 F, favorable. Okay, so this is the only way of measuring this. Then next is, once you have got reason, you have to find out the reason for the variances, why the variance came. Okay, this is called investigation of variance. Okay, and then take corrective action and disposal of variance. So basically, so for this, you will take some corrective action. So next time you don't get it. Okay, or next time the variance at least is less. Okay, so this, of course, the fourth, the last point would be for unfavorable variance. Okay, if it's favorable, it's good, but you will have to again investigate to see if your standard was properly set or not. Okay, so this is the process of standard costing. Then types of variance, if you see, controllable and uncontrollable. Okay, so controllable is what can be controlled by the managers. Uncontrollable is beyond their control. Okay, so so if you have got uncontrollable variance, okay, which is significant, the amount is significant, and every time it is creeping up. Okay, so then you'll have to revise the standard. Okay, based on that. If uncontrollable is coming, because you don't want to see uncontrollable variance too much in standard, okay, because you cannot do anything about it. Here the idea of getting variance is to control it. Okay, so favorable variance F is profitable to the company, adverse variance A is loss to the company. Always remember, let's see in the earlier example also, if this is cost and what I said is correct. Okay, now this is 1000 standard, this is 50, 50 is favorable. But what if it is sales or profit? If it is a standard for sales or profit, okay, then this becomes adverse, correct? Because sales say has to be 1000, but it is less now. So it is a bad situation, correct? So it is adverse. Okay, so just remember that for cost and expenses, whatever standards you are using, for sales, it will be other way around. Okay. So for cost, say more cost is bad, but more profit is good, right? So it's like that. Okay. 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 So now we are really coming into variance analysis. Okay. The first thing we'll talk about is cost variance. Okay. So in cost variance, first thing will be material cost variance. Labor cost variance we'll do later. First we'll look after material cost variance. We'll do a couple of problems on material cost variance. Okay. So now, so material cost variance is divided into two parts. Okay. One is called material price variance. Okay. So this price variance comes because your standard price and actual price are different. Okay. So actual price of purchase is different more or less than your standard price. That causes your price variance. Okay. Second is usage variance. So for one product, if you had to use say 100 kgs, but you have used 105 kgs, that is called usage variance. You have used more or less. Okay. So in usage variance, there are three types of sub variances. Actually, there are two only. One is mix and one is yield. Okay. Yield is also called as sub usage. So when the yield variance is computed from the product, it is called yield variance. When it is computed from the raw materials, okay, it is called sub usage variance. The yield variance is always equal to sub usage variance. The mode of computation is different. That we will see later on. Okay. Right. So your so usage variance basically is mix or yield variance. These are the two types. So you can say yield or sub usage. You can even say that way. Okay. So now why is mix variance? Why does mix variance happen? When for a product you have to mix certain raw materials. Okay. But raw material, ठीक है, यहाँ A है, ये B है, ठीक है, तो आपको मिक्स करना है रेशियो में, रेशियो इज 1:5. Okay, but actually you have mixed as 2:5 or 2:4. Say you mixed as 2:4. Now the cost of A will be different than cost of B. So although this is also 6 kgs, this is also 6 kgs. Okay, but there will be change in price. So this has been caused by material mix variance. The variance now will be called as material mix variance. Okay, this is your material mix variance. Now yield variance is something, see, for example, if you put a standard, a certain mix, okay, so I have just put say 1 kg, this 5, this is for 1 unit. So I put whatever units I have, and after putting it, I should have got a yield of 100 units should be produced. 100 units should be produced is called as yield. Okay, but actually what is produced is 90. So now in market, you have lost the price of 10, right? If the produce is less, okay, although you have put the same raw material, less has been produced because you have not produced it properly, more has evaporated or whatever. Okay, now we have got only 90. So the price which should have got, you should have got for 100 units. Now we are getting only for 90. So price of 10 units is a loss, right? Correct. So this is called yield variance. Okay. Same thing. So when I take the final price of yield and based on that, if I compute, you won't understand at this stage fully. Okay. This will be called yield variance. But if I use this raw material prices, okay, and based on that, I find out yield variance, then this is called sub-usage variance. So both answers will be same. Okay, this input only will give you the output, right? So we will see that. So you won't understand till I show you that. But just remember that sub-usage and yield variance will give you the same value. Mode of computation is different. Okay. Okay. So these are your main variance. So basically, material cost variance can be divided into price variance and usage variance. Okay. If price variance is due to price, then it will be price variance. Usage variance is more or less material has been put. Okay. And in usage variance itself, there can be two things. One will be the mix proportion is not proper. That is called as mix variance. Second is yield is more or less. So if you add mix and yield variance, you'll always get usage variance. Okay. So basically your sub usage or yield are one and the same. Okay, just remember that both are they'll always give you same values. Okay, so we'll see like why we call it differently. That also I'll tell you. Okay, so this is basically it is saying sub usage. Usage means you are putting raw materials, using it, right? Yield means you're getting the final output. Okay, so the difference is only the way you are calculating it. Okay, either you are calculating it like this or you are holding your hands like this. In the end, you are reaching this here. Okay, it's like that. So chalo, so ab we'll do some problems of material cost variance, and it's very interesting. See, now cost variance is standard cost minus actual cost. Okay, then price variance is you have to calculate like this: standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. Okay, I'll show you in the first problem. After that, you will understand this. Okay, so basically, standard price minus actual price is, say, for example, quantity required is 5 kg. This is your quantity. Okay. Okay. The standard price is 3 and actual price is 4. Okay, this is standard price. This is actual price. Okay. So what you have to do to find material price variance, you have to just do standard price 3 minus 4. Just do 3 minus 4 multiplied by actual. AQ is actual quantity. Okay. So this will be minus 1 into 5, which will be minus 5. If you are getting in minus, that means it is an adverse variance. Their actual price is more, right? So it is unfavorable. So which is why you are getting in minus. So I will write it like this. If I get minus 5, I'll say 5A adverse. Okay. So this causes of price variance and all we'll see later on. Okay. Little bit of theory. Very easy. You can write it in your own words. Then usage variance is again, usage variance will be calculated by this formula. Okay. There are two methods. One is which is followed in your study material, that is not, I would say, not that straightforward. Okay, I'll be showing you another method where you will always use the formula and get it. Okay, so this will never confuse you in standard costing. Okay, so this is your usage variance. In usage variance, you are not finding out the variance due to price change, okay, which is why you're multiplying by standard price. Okay, what you are seeing is standard quantity minus actual quantity. SQ is standard quantity, AQ is actual quantity. So now say if your standard quantity needed is 5, actual quantity is 4. Okay, so in less quantity you have produced. Okay, so what will you do? Standard quantity minus actual quantity, 5 minus 1 will become 1 positive, but it will be right. And so standard price is 2. Okay, so how will you will calculate your usage variance? Just say 5, no, not 5, standard price is 2, right? 2, so into 5 minus 4, okay, which will be 2 favorable. Okay, just remember in usage variance there is no role of price change. Okay, that goes in price variance. Okay, then there is mix and yield variance. I'll explain that to you little later on with the problem. I'll explain, so it will become easy. Okay, mix and yield variance as we saw above, right? Here price variance, usage variance. In usage variance you have mix variance, you have yield variance. Okay, and so it is also called sub usage variance. So sub usage and yield will always be the same. Okay, so actually there are two things only in usage variance: mix and yield. If you're calculating sub usage, mix and sub usage, you add these two, you will get this, or you add these two, you will get this. Okay, chalo, now we'll see one illustration. So what are this one? Product A required 10 kg of material, okay, at the rate of 4 kg. Okay, so this is actuals. No. Okay, it requires, they are saying that is standard. Okay, it's not required, it should be requires. Okay, that means it is standard. Requires 10 kg of material at 4. Okay, actual consumption of material is 12 kg instead of 10 kg. Okay, and rate is 4.5 instead of 4. So calculate cost variance, usage variance, and price variance. Okay, so now we'll do, just put the formula now. Here is your material cost variance. Okay, material cost variance is total standard cost minus actual cost. What will be standard cost here? 10 into 4, correct? 10 into 4 will be standard cost. Actual cost will be 12 into 4.5. So 40 minus 12 into 4.5. This will be your material cost variance. It comes to 14 adverse. ठीक है, समझ में आया? स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट माइनस एक्चुअल कॉस्ट होगा आपका मटेरियल कॉस्ट वेरिएंस, एमसीवी बोलते हैं उसको. ये होगा, इसका स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट है 10 into 4 और एक्चुअल कॉस्ट दिया गया है हमारा, ये 12 है और ये 4.5 है इसका कॉस्ट पर यूनिट कॉस्ट. इसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो आपको ये मिलेगा. तो ये आ जाता है माइनस 14 आ रहा है ना, इसको लिखेंगे 14 एडवर्स. ठीक है. नाउ प्राइस वेरिएंस विल बी स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस माइनस एक्चुअल प्राइस इनटू एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी. ओके, so ये फॉर्मूले थोड़े आपको बस याद रखने पड़ेंगे. ओके, इफ यू डू सम प्रॉब्लम्स वो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको याद हो जाएंगे. So this will become कितना, स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस माइनस एक्चुअल प्राइस इज 4 minus 4.5 एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी इज 12, तो चलिए कर दीजिए मल्टीप्लाई। ठीक है, ये हो गया आपका 6, 4 माइनस 4.5 माइनस 0.5, ओके, सो आंसर हो जाता है -6, so it becomes 6 adverse variance. Now usage variance is what? Standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. Just remember, for price variance multiply by quantity, or usage variance multiply by price. ठीक है, so standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. So this quantity, just put the values 10, 12, okay, and this is 4 standard price, 8, okay.
सर
Yes, हाँ बोलिए रोहित।
तो ये मॉड्यूल में ये कुछ तो SQSP करके दिया है, मतलब
हाँ, आप ये इस प्रोसीजर से आप कर सकते हैं, तो आपको अगर वो इजी लगता होगा तो आप वो यूज कीजिए, बट ये वाला जो
नहीं नहीं,
प्रोसीजर है,
इजी नहीं लगता,
हाँ
इजी नहीं लगता, वो कठिन लगता है।
ये इजी है, तो आप ये प्रोसीजर आप यूज कर सकते हैं। तो वैसे आपके जो एग्जाम क्वेश्चन है कहीं में आपको ये नहीं पूछा जाएगा कि आप कौन से तरीके से आप कर रहे हैं। सो एनीवे, ये जो फॉर्मूले है, फॉर्मूले ये भी दिए गए हैं आपको, सो बेसिकली तो आप ये भी यूज कर सकते हैं। ये ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि जो बाहर से लाया गया है फॉर्मूले, फॉर्मूले तो है बट उन्होंने जिस तरीके से किया है दैट इज डिफरेंट। तो वही मैं बोल रहा था कि यानी आप इस तरीके से करोगे तो ज्यादा इजी लगेगा। जैसे जैसे
ओके
प्रॉब्लम्स और कठिन होते जाएंगे, आपको ये इससे जो है बहुत क्लैरिटी रहेगा ये प्रोसीजर्स। ठीक है, तो इसी से आप
ठीक,
कर सकते हो, तो मार्क्स पूरे मिलेंगे आप कैसे भी करो। ठीक है, क्योंकि ये सब फॉर्मूले आर गिवन इन स्टडी मटेरियल ओनली, ये सब है ना, तो आप उसको यूज करके डायरेक्ट कर रहे हो तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
ठीक है।
Okay, so as I said that in the module, what the way they have solved is little different, and that is little complicated, so go by these, okay, you'll get full marks because these formulae are also given in your study material, okay, but for solving they are not using it, that's another thing. So it is given, so you can just use this and it will give you more clarity on the flow, okay, how things are going. तो चलिए अभी illustration 2 करेंगे। We'll do the illustration 2. Standard quantity and standard price of raw material, okay, required for 1 unit of product AR, ठीक है, 1 यूनिट फाइनल प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए you need 2 मटेरियल X and Y, so ऐसे चीजों में आपके मिक्स वेरिएंस वगैरह आते हैं when you are mixing 2 things to get the final product, okay, तो ये हो गया आपका। हाँ, अब ये दो मटेरियल X को आप 2 किलो डालते हो, ओके, मटेरियल Y को आप 4 किलो डालते हो, ओके, यू आर पुटिंग मटेरियल X 2 kg, Y 4 kg, okay, and then after processing you are getting 1 unit of your final product, ठीक है, प्रोडक्ट, got the point, and this 3 is 3 rupees per kg is rate of this material X, okay, and 2 rupees per kg is rate of material Y. So now actual production and relevant data are given. So actually material X, this much they have put, okay, 1100 kg at 3410, and Y they have put this much. Okay, so if you divide 3410 by 1100, you will get per unit price of actual, right? Calculate variances. Actual production they have given is 500 units. Okay, so now let us see, okay, how you will proceed in this. First thing is, for getting standard, what you will do, this is 500 units, correct? 500 units is actual production. For getting 500 units, okay, so now take material X, okay, so for 1 unit you need 2 kg, right? For 1 unit you need 2 kg. For getting 500 units, how many kgs you will have to put? 500 into 2 upon 1, right? 500 into 2. Similarly, for 4 it will be 500 into 4. Okay, 500 into 2 will give you what? ठीक है, समझ में आया? ये एक्चुअल प्रोडक्शन आपका 500 किलो है, ठीक है? एक यूनिट के लिए आपको 2 किलो डालना पड़ता है, तो 500 किलो के लिए कितना? 500 into 2 डालेंगे आप, करेक्ट? अच्छा, और 4 किलो मटेरियल वाई के लिए है, 500 into 4 विल पुट फॉर 500 यूनिट्स, ठीक है? 500 यूनिट के लिए 500 into 4 डालेंगे आप, ठीक है? तो ये पहला चीज हम निकालेंगे। तो 500 into 2 हो गया अपना 1000, करेक्ट? This has become 1000. So now this is your standard data, this part, okay? And here quantity A is 1000, correct? 500 into 2, B is 2000. Price is already given, 3 per kg, 2 per kg. 1000 into 3, this will give you 3000. 2000 into 2 will give you 4000. Add these two, you will get how much? 7000. Okay, so by using actual data, you have created your standard first. Okay, because your standard was given for 1 unit, so 500 units we have created the standard now for comparison. Okay, now we'll put the actual data. Actual data is given here already, 1100, 1800. ठीक है, ये दोनों डाल दिए, और पर प्राइस जो है वो विल गेट do 3410 upon 1100, वो करेंगे तो you will get 3.10. Similarly for this, और ये वैल्यू डाल दिए सेम. Okay, so you get total here this. So अब हमको दोनों मिल गया. We have got, हमने डेटा को ऐसे अरेंज किया है that this is standard and this is actual. ठीक है, तो अब कॉस्ट वेरिएंस क्या होगा सीधा देख के हम बोल सकते हैं 7000 minus 7370, यानी minus 370, 370 adverse. Okay, so this will be your cost variance. ठीक है, तो अब कॉस्ट वेरिएंस के बाद नेक्स्ट हम करेंगे प्राइस वेरिएंस. ठीक है, आपका प्राइस वेरिएंस क्या है? स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस माइनस एक्चुअल प्राइस इनटू एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी, ये फॉर्मूला है हमारा, राइट? स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस माइनस एक्चुअल प्राइस इनटू एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी. तो अब यहाँ पे दो मटेरियल है ना, तो दोनों का हमको सेपरेटली करना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो ए का, फॉर ए वी विल डू लाइक दिस, ए एंड बी. ठीक है, से व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला? दिस वन इज द फॉर्मूला, राइट? ठीक है, दिस इज द फॉर्मूला. सो स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस कितना है हमारा? यहाँ पे 3 है, एक्चुअल इज 3.10, करेक्ट? सो व्हाट यू विल पुट इज 3 minus 3.1, okay, into actual quantity. कितना एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी? 1010, ये 1100, करेक्ट? दिस वन. बस नहीं है, निकाल. ये पहले का है और दूसरे का रहेगा. सेकेंड वन विल बी 2 minus 2.2. सेकेंड वन विल बी 2 minus 2.2. ठीक है, इनटू एक्चुअल कितना रहेगा इसका? 1800. ओके, 2 minus 2.2 into 1800. So अब चलो ये दोनों का बस आपको निकाल लेना है. You will get your price variance. ओके, so 3 minus 3.10 कितना है? अभी ये तो दोनों भी माइनस में आएंगे, करेक्ट? बोथ आंसर्स विल बी इन माइनस. ओके, सो इसका 0.1 into 110, दिस विल बी 110. ठीक है, ये कितना रहेगा? 0.2. ठीक है, 2 into 180, 8 into 360. दोनों भी माइनस में आएंगे। ओके, दिस विल बी 470 एडवर्स, ठीक है, बिकॉज बोथ आर माइनस। ये दोनों के आंसर जो है ना, एक्चुअली आंसर इज लाइक दिस, माइनस ओके, दिस इज, ये भी माइनस में है, ये भी माइनस में। ओके, ऐसा है आपका, ये होगा 470, तो ये आपका आंसर, दिस इज मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस। ओके, ये 470 आपका, ठीक है। अभी यूसेज वेरिएंस कैसा निकालेंगे, मिक्स और यील्ड में आपको उसका कॉन्सेप्ट समझाऊंगा। ओके, एंड देन वी विल गो फॉर मिक्स एंड यील्ड। इसी में से मैं आपको ये प्रॉब्लम बेस्ट है मिक्स एंड यील्ड का कॉन्सेप्ट समझने के लिए। ओके, तो यूसेज हम देख लेते हैं, यूसेज का क्या फॉर्मूला है बताइए। यूसेज ये वाला है, ठीक है। इसको दोनों को कैसा करेंगे आप, यू विल जस्ट डू स्टैंडर्ड क्वांटिटी माइनस एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी। ओके, यहाँ पे 1000 माइनस 1100, ओके, ये हो जाएगा 100, ठीक है। 1000 माइनस 1100, 100 माइनस में आएगा, इनटू स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस है, ठीक है, इनटू 3, मैं डायरेक्ट कर रहा हूँ यहाँ। ओके, तो ये तो मैं कल नेक्स्ट क्लास में मैं फिर से करके बताऊंगा। ये आ जाएगा माइनस में 300। ओके, सेकंड क्या है आपका 2000 माइनस 1800, ये पॉजिटिव में, ठीक है। 2000 माइनस 200 इंटू 2 400, ठीक है। तो ये 400 पॉजिटिव है, ये 300 नेगेटिव है। अब दोनों को ऐड करोगे तो क्या आएगा रिजल्ट, ओके, आंसर आएगा 100 पॉजिटिव, करेक्ट। ये दोनों को ऐड करेंगे तो ये आपका यूसेज वेरिएंस है। ओके, ये 100 फेवरेबल। मिक्स और यील्ड में आपको नेक्स्ट क्लास में समझाऊंगा। ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल, सो विल मीट इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास, राइट, थैंक यू। और किसी को कुछ डाउट हो तो मेरे को मैसेज करना, एक और सेशन के लिए मैं आ जाऊंगा इफ एनी डाउट्स आर देयर। ओके, ओके, बाय।